Hello friends, Clage back from Frosty Faustings with another Punishing Grey Raven video today, and as you can probably tell from my voice, I have decidedly not recovered from 3 days of commentary work yet, but the patch just came out and the update's done, so I figured I haven't done a roll video since Live. I think I can probably muscle through long enough to yap for 8 to 10 minutes while we try to roll a few copies of Rosetta, her weapon, and her cubs. So, as with all the roll videos, I have a spreadsheet that I keep to torture myself just to see who's nice to me and who makes me shed a whole lot of precious BC to get them to the level I want. If you never watched one of my roll videos before, I take all the characters to Triple S, get their 6-star weapon, and get their cubs. So, let's go ahead and start with the less interesting stuff. We will fire off and get a copy of the cub here, 100%. So, not a whole lot of excitement to these unless we pop multiples. All right, first try. Don't hate that. That's not going to make me sound... Oh, excuse me. I'm... Bro, I don't have the voice to get hype right now. Why are you doing this to me, PGR? Help. Oh, jeez. All right, well, that's all right. 3 cubs, 1 roll. It's just baby game for babies. It is actually that easy. Just roll multiple copies. Yeah. Just, duh. Why aren't you like me? Just be like me, bro. It's fine. Anyway, all right. Well, now we know we're going to absolutely eat it for the rest of these rolls. Good Lord. All right. Let me get my calculator up before I forget, because I absolutely will. I'm still a little scatterbrained from travel and seeing homies and obviously working a lot through commentary. If you got to tune into Frosty Faustings, I hope you enjoyed the show. Those top 8s are absolutely incredible. And getting to commentate with the homies, Raph and Sammy, and my first time working with Jobber was great. So, all right, let's go weapon hunting, shall we? So, just need one good old copy of the Lance. I really like the design of Rosetta's new weapon. I'll show you when we get to her. Yeah, you can see it on here. The little, I don't know why, this little trail of like light up dashes that goes around the tip of the lance just enamors me for some reason. It might be because I'm a small brain child, but I don't know. It activates the neurons and looks pretty. So that's really all you need to do to make me interested in the weapon. I'm not picky. But all right, let us continue the hunt. See if I can win the weapon roll here. All right, so that's another 5K, and we get some kind of guaranteed 6-star. It's just a matter of, is it the 6-star we actually want? All right. Did we go right on time? Doop, doop, doop. Oh, a little early. Okay. Not the worst thing in the world. All right. So that was the 8th, I believe. 4, 5, 6, 7. Moment of truth. Nice. All right, cool. Did not botch the weapon roll. Love to see it. All right. So that is 7,500 more. So that is a total of 10K to get the weapon and cub. Multiple copies of the cub at that. So not bad. We're ahead of the curve. I will take it. All right. Now for the fun part. Okay, so we will need 4 copies of Rosetta plus the Pancake shards to get to Triple S. So let the games begin, and I will try to keep track of how many rolls here. All right, so that's 2,500. But since I got back, there have been some updates with the test server. Obviously, it's not going to do me any good right now because since Rosetta's out already, I'm just going to build her on my main account. There's no reason to do it twice. But I should have a much easier time with future patches in terms of testing and stuff. So after a lot of conversations with content creator liaisons and stuff, we've made some pretty good progress on that. So I think I will be much better set up for future previews and getting stuff ready so I can get back to having guides out the moment the patch drops. And I will be working on Rosetta's guide this week. However, I'm not going to be able to finish it until I give my voice at least a couple more days to rest. Because I don't want to record the voiceover like this. And if I record a bunch of voiceover this week and then go back to streaming, then I'm never going to get recovered. And nobody wants that, especially not me, because while I'm sure it's amusing to hear my voice while I sound like I've been chain smoking heaters since I was 6 years old, it's not the most endearing on the ears, and it's also not the most endearing to my vocal cords. So bear with me on that. I will have the guide out as soon as I realistically can. And we'll see. I don't know how long this one's going to take. Just the fact that Rosetta is technically a new class, and I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of nuance to learn here, so we'll see what happens. But again, I will be working on this throughout the week and hopefully have it out. I'm hoping by the weekend, but we'll see. We'll see how long it takes for my voice to decide it wants to function in a normal tone again. No regrets whatsoever, though. I definitely saved a lot of vocal cord stamina for the Xrd top 8 on Saturday night, and do not regret it one bit. I actually think that's probably one of my best commentary blocks I've ever done, mostly due to the fact that I got to work with Sammy, who is like a little brother to me, and we just have really good synergy. We're both huge nerds about Guilty Gear, and it just doesn't get much better than that. So was very refreshing to get out of town for a little bit, see a ton of close friends, sit and chat and interact with so many people from the Legacy Guilty Gear communities. And, I have friends that I've known in that scene now for, started meeting people in 2003. So, 23 years at this point, which is kind of crazy, and another reminder that if you haven't watched the channel, that I am old, or olge, as the VTuber homie friends like to call me. I think that was technically a little early, right? Because we were, see, if it's 4, it's not early. Okay, never mind. I can't count. Ignore me. All right, so back-to-back full pity on those. That is totally okay. So let me add another 15K here. All right, 2 more to go. I always say if I get a single early copy anywhere in the process, that's a big W, but I never expect it. Obviously, we get the very generous pity in PGR, so I do not expect to get super, super hooked up on that front, because the low pull rate balances the very generous pity, and I will always take that over the opposite. I would much rather prefer knowing exactly how much it's going to take and having it be a very reasonable number to go to pity, as opposed to having a higher pull rate, but having to, have non-rate up characters available, or not having a early guaranteed pity or anything like that. So, also very, I have to say I'm pretty happy to see that this is not a Philo tree character. I wasn't really sure if the Philo tree system was only going to be for like big anniversary characters and stuff. But I kind of wondered if it was just going to be for every paid S rank, but it looks like that's not the case, and I think that's really good. I think that makes the Philo tree system feel a lot more tolerable and palatable, at least in my opinion. I'm curious what you all think on that, but I was kind of going in this expecting that every S rank from here on out was going to be part of the Philo tree system, so seeing that Rosetta is not is pretty cool. So I'm guessing maybe we won't see another Philo tree S rank until half anniversary, which, if I had to guess, is probably going to be Alpha's new frame, but we'll see. We don't know the exact order. So far, it looks like they're kind of sticking to the order we expected, so but we'll find out as we go. We have plenty to go from there. All right, so another copy down, so 15 more. All right, so no early copies yet, but that is okay. All right, one more to go here. We'll see if we get an early pop or not. If we don't, no worries. Gonna get everything done the way I want to, but hope you all have been doing well. Hopefully, if you were in the line of that storm, that you were able to stay safe. That was nasty. Like, I got very lucky. Usually that kind of storm comes through my neck of the woods, but unfortunately it went south to a bunch of states that are much less well prepared to handle a legit winter storm. So if it was in your path, hopefully you're doing okay, staying warm. It seems to have eased up a little bit, so All right, couple more pulls here, and then we can put a bow on this one, and then I will probably be starting to take notes on what all Rosetta's kit entails and what we can do, and start figuring out how I want to structure out the guide. I mean, the structure is not going to change. You guys have all seen my guides by now. You can probably recite the order without much effort, but with a new class, you know, I'm sure there's going to be new stuff to talk about. All right, so no early copies that time. That is totally okay. Get this one here. Make sure there's no extras. Okay, cool. And that is that. So that is a nice round 70K. So 10,000 BC discount. I do not hate that. Anytime I am under the minimum or the maximum, I consider that a great success. So 70K in the book. I should remember to save this because I don't have the time when I make these roll videos. Okay, cool. All right, friends, I am going to go back to resting the vocal cords, start building Rosetta, and start doing my research for the Rosetta guide. Again, thank you for all the patience and feedback on the update video. I really appreciate y'all. And I'll be getting back to everything here soon. I just need a few days to recover from a very amazing but also very draining weekend and stuff. These things don't get any easier the older you get. So expect the Rosetta guide soon. Expect plenty of, you know, various videos on the patch modes and anything of interest that I have to talk about. And of course, I will be resuming my work on the next lore video as well. But obviously, gotta have a voice worthy of doing VO before we can even remotely begin to think about that one. But definitely going to be my goal to have the next lore video out, hopefully before the end of the month. It is February, so I am kind of setting myself up for a little bit of crunch for that, just because it's such a short month. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, as always, I appreciate you all. Thank you for hanging out and dropping by the videos. If you want to do the YouTube garbage, like, comment, subscribe. It's always appreciated. It's never necessary. And I will see you soon for a new guide and more PGR videos. So y'all take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.